Should Acasius Tours invest in virtual reality content? First off, let's start with what are the benefits of using VR? Okay, increased popularity with unknown locations is a major thing that would come out of using VR. The second thing is increased marketability of these unknown locations, so locations that can't be gotten to by boat or by a charter. So this would allow you to get to these locations. And next thing here is a very positive ROI, return on investment, on these devices, and that's been shown through several studies that were in the report. Next thing, airlines, tour companies, and hotels have found this to be effective in providing a real-life experience to customers. And so that kind of goes back to the first 2 points of being able to go to locations that you wouldn't normally be able to go to with the usage of VR. Next thing, what are the recommendations for getting started? So in this company's case, it would be to develop short VR films, try those out, send mobile VR headsets to key customers, develop or distribute high quality VR headsets in major offices, and that's going to allow the big time consumers of these to test them out and receive feedback on them. And then the last thing here is create a 3-part series of VR films for the European Pipe Organs Tour, which is part of the tour, and see what happens with that. Marketing travel with VR, this is a major thing. VR will enable customers to get the experience of unmarketable destinations without having to physically go to them. And that's like talked about previously. It's going to allow a lot more locations that aren't marketable simply because they're unreachable to be reached, and people can be able to experience them with VR. This allows a safer and more realistic experience than watching video or looking at a picture. It was found that Cork Expeditions, that they found it successful when they provided guests with a VR film of the underwater icebergs and penguins in Antarctica. Now, obviously, it's hard to get people to Antarctica, and so what they were able to do is provide their guests with a VR film that showed everything that was there without actually having to go there. And lastly, let's take a look at some statistics that were necessary to evaluate tours with VR. And first off, we got interest in VR content to help you make tour decisions. So the owners, these are all owners, and we got 73% of owners were in favor of this. 28% of mobile VR headset owners were in favor of this, and customers without headsets were not as receptive to this. But here we got interest in sharing VR content with other group tour members, and on this, the ones who owned a headset were pretty much 50-50 with sharing VR content with other group tour members, which would make sense. As it here kind of tapers off right here, but the mobile VR headset owners right here, this is 25%, and so that's gonna kind of show you what that looks like. And so basically, in conclusion to this, do I think that it's a good idea for Acasius Tours to move to VR headsets for tours? I think it's a great idea. And I think, as shown throughout the report, it's going to be very successful, and it's going to be more marketable to these unknown destinations, and it's going to allow people to see places that they've never seen before without actually physically having to go to them. Thank you.